Hello. Come on in the room. I'll turn the chat on so you all can see what's going on. Good evening, teammates. Come on in. Come on in. Hey, y'all. We need to get down to these court documents tonight, what they mean. I've done some research, and we're going to get into it. We're going to break down the new filing, the new restraining order, what happened to the other restraining order, all of that stuff, and what it all really means, right? So, hey, everybody. You here for it? I'm here for it. I'm here for you being here for it. Hey, y'all, come on in. We got to break this document down, okay? Y'all like my new background? Let's see. Come on in, y'all. Let's get into the nitty gritty of what's really happening. We need to really, really get into this stuff. How y'all doing tonight? Louisiana, I see you. Hello. Kazumi, is that how you pronounce it? Hi, Kazumi. Come through, Judge. Yeah, I got my judge's hat on. I had to stop myself. I almost put on one of those ugly ass old white wigs that they used to wear, back in George Washington days. They still do that actually in some parts of the country, like in Africa. I know certain countries within Africa, they still wear those ridiculous wigs, and it looks hideous. I almost got one. I'm gonna have to get me a gavel. You know what? This is getting so insane and so crazy and so messy that I might have to get a gavel, because these court documents are never ending. And from the research that I've done, and we're going to go over it, Carmen hasn't been doing what she is supposed to do, which means that now you're in contempt of court. And we're going to talk about what that means, the implications of that, and all of that stuff. We're going to, start breaking it down and digesting it. Louisiana, is it LA? Okay, Los Angeles in the house. You just woke up? Well, you right on time. Pure train wreck. I cannot stop watching it though. Hi, Dallas, Texas. Don't forget the robe. I know, right? Yeah. Hi, y'all. Welcome. Welcome, teammates. Uh-oh, I see the boogie down in here. From the BX. That's right. Did you see she wore the coat? Did you see she wore that coat? I made sure she's getting her money's worth. She acted like she haven't had a real coat before. That's funny. That is funny to me. I mean, and then she went on a whole tangent with one of her rose goldies. I mean, now, don't y'all get all high and mighty, because y'all were rose goldies at one point too, until you really start seeing her for her true colors. Now you're a teammate, but you used to be a rose goldie, so don't get high and mighty. Yeah, I saw the text message of her going off on one of her rose goldies, talking about pull up, like shit. Yeah. Carmen she's in for a wild ride. Talking about I'm having the ride of my life. Well, I'll show you that footage and all that stuff too. You really are. I mean, I really feel like you're being taken for a ride. I mean, that's not good. All right. So I will let the rest of the people get caught up. Maybe they can do a replay, but I want to be respectful of your time since you're here early and on time, right? And start moving along with this. All right. So as you all know, let me put my back on. As you all know, boss lady Karina, she filed another motion yesterday for another temporary restraining order. So what you need to know about temporary restraining orders real quick is that in Georgia, they are just that. They're temporary. They only last a few days, 7 days, a week, 2 weeks usually at the most, right? So, that's expired. She filed the first one in October, on October 26th. So today is November 14th. So that order has already expired. But before we get into that and what that all means and, the implications and stuff of that, we need to do a little bit of housekeeping because not everyone here is a regular, right? So I have a bit of a disclaimer because we're going to be going over legal stuff and my opinions, which are all, alleged, So we are here today to talk about Cook Carmen Smith, and her maybe new bride. I don't know. Soon to be, if she's not already. So Tay, Aceman, Costa, McInnes, Harris, Brown, Aceman, Costa, Tosta with a T, Mobley, and soon to be possibly Smith. Okay. And again, as I stated before in my previous video, a lot of times when people have all of those aliases like that, at least I can speak for some people in my family, when they get arrested, they have given different names because if you give your real name, then your whole rap sheet comes up. So if you give an alternate name, a made-up name, or one of your old married names, right? Because she's been married 3 times, but that's way more than 3 names. If you give them a different name and they run it and it comes back clean, you might get lucky and they'll let you go unless they just want to take you down to the precinct. So this is a hell of a lot of names, all right? A lot of names, and she claims them all. But as Chef would say, don't worry about it, sweetheart, and we won't. All right, so a quick disclaimer. So as you all know, I only focus on Carmen and Tay, period, on this platform. And, we want to investigate them and people in their background like we did yesterday. And we saw, the rap sheet or, the mugshot of her former husband, her ex-husband. So, any person of interest really pertaining to those two. We'll definitely investigate them. We don't discriminate against anyone. The LGBTQIA plus community, I am an advocate for them. I definitely advocate for their rights. All right. So, anything that I say against them, it's not a slight against anyone in the gay community at all. Right. I don't get down like that. I do not slur anyone for any reason. Unless you're trifling, like, some of these people we're talking about in this court case tonight. But I don't make general blanket statements for whole groups or anything like that, right? So just want to clear that up because I don't want anyone to ever come back and say, oh, you're no, none of that. Handicapped people, mentally, physically, whatever it may be. If I say something is retarded, I'm not talking about people all over the world. I'm talking about these two right here, okay? So, and finally, anything that we say, people on the panel who'll be coming on with me soon, it's all allegedly. We're just going to file it under allegedly for now, right? Just to cover ourselves. Okay, these court documents. So, yesterday,
actually a real menu.
No, that's not what I want. This is what I want. So, Karina filed a motion yesterday for a restraining order, another restraining order against Carmen. Let me take these comments off so we can get into. I can blow the screen up for you. Hang on. Here we go. All right. So let's take it from the beginning. All right. So let me go back. All right. So the case originally, Karina went and she retained an attorney, and she filed a case against Carmen. And she filed it as the plaintiff, I got you seasonings.com, right? She filed it from the company name, and from as well as her name. So basically she was claiming as part owner of the company. All right. And then the first filing was again on October 26th. So she had there was a summons. So there was a case intake. So that's when you go to the court and say, hey, I want to file charges or have a court case brought against someone. So she did that on the 26th. That's the first time she had notified them of an issue that she wanted to take to court for Carmen. So I looked and I didn't see any other documents prior to that day. So there was a summons issued on the 26th. The complaint was for specific performance. So you're not doing your job. You're not cranking out those cooking videos. You're not going to do. You are not fulfilling your obligations that we agreed to in the beginning, right? Injunctive relief, and then damages, right? So let me go over here. Okay. So just to level set again, because I never want to assume that everyone is on the same page and everyone knows. So injunctive relief it can be in the form of a court ordering another person or persons or business to do something or stop doing something. So, i.e., stop tarnishing the company's image with your petty skirmishes, right? So Karina said, I am going to sue you because you're not doing what you were supposed to do contractually, right? Again, the cooking videos, cranking them out, and all that. Being the social media mogul around, this seasoning line, right? So Karina said, I also want relief or, compensation, etc. Because you have been tarnishing the image of the company. So that's the punitive damages, etc. But the injunctive relief, again, is, she was asking the court to have Karina or to have Carmen to stop doing certain things. And I would imagine that would be stop fighting online, stop getting into it with the fans, stop the drama. Like, your page is supposed to be a professional cooking page, and you should keep that separate from anything personal that you have going on, because it's not good for business. It's not good for the image. It's not good for the brand. And it is a total distraction, on so many different levels. Right. So, yeah. So, this was again on the 26th. So on the 27th, well, let me back up. So on the 26th, she also put in for a temporary restraining order, right? An emergency motion for a temporary ex parte. That means that the other party doesn't have to be there. Ex parte literally means one party, right? So she got a restraining order, a temporary one, ex parte. Carmen wasn't there. She didn't have to be there. It was filed ex parte, right? So that was on the 26th. On the 27th, she submitted a document to basically substantiate the need for that temporary emergency, temporary protective order, right? So the court said, all right, you filed it, but how are you substantiating it? You just don't like the way she looks? You just don't like the way she talks? Like, we need something to substantiate this in order to grant it, right? So she did. Her attorney submitted something in support of it. And the consent notice of filing, supplemental affidavit, emergency motion, etc. Right? And then on October 12th, let's see if I can see this. Okay. So basically a bunch of filings, right? Back and forth. She did get the temporary restraining order. and etc. So we all saw the video of Carmen going down to I Got You, breaking in the office, right? I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint to show you how she violated that order and what that means, right? But we saw the video of Carmen going down there. Oh, this is my company. Look on the wall. She was having a complete meltdown. She was, she was having, it seemed like major regrets for agreeing to whatever, all of this stuff, right? And so that restraining order that was in place, that's a direct violation of the restraining order. So because the restraining order was temporary, Karina had to file another restraining order, right? And she also, in addition to filing another emergency motion for a protective order, same difference more or less, she also filed a motion for contempt, which is listed right here. So that means, go back to my PowerPoint here. It's not a PowerPoint, but that means that, judge, I had an order in place and she broke that order. Like she broke the rules of contact, no contact. She was down at the I Got You office. She probably was calling her. You can't have any kind of contact whatsoever with a person once they have a restraining order against you, point blank, period. So the emergency motion for a protective order. So I did a little research to put it up here for you all. So there is so it's utilized in situations where there's been a domestic violence situation. So if you're at home, you're living with someone and, you get into a fight and one of the parties is requested to leave the home or business. All right. So obviously they don't live together, but they do work together. And when you get a restraining order against someone, as you see, it also says you can request that they're not anywhere around you. And that also means work, even if it is your business as well. The same way a person who lives with an abusive person, that person can actually not be able to go back to the house if there's a restraining order, even if you live together. So she's not. Carmen was down there like, oh, this is my company. How am I breaking the law? She was addressing comments as they were coming in from her followers that she was breaking the law. And she was like, how am I breaking the law? This is my company. I built this. No, it doesn't work that way. Once something is filed against you, a protective order, I don't care if you gave birth to it. You can't go around it, period, because that's the law, point blank. So a temporary restraining order usually includes no contact. That means electronic, emails, phone calls, text messages, pigeons, whatever it may be. You cannot have any contact with this person who filed an order against you. Okay. And that means also staying a certain distance away from the victim, their home, job, even if it is a company you conceived of, car, or school. The length is generally defined in yards such as 100 to 300 yards. You can't come within 300 yards of me because you will go to jail. All right. Also, a lot of times they order the abuser to attend counseling, but I'm sure Karina doesn't care about that. She just wants this to be done. A violation of a protective order can be treated as a felony, misdemeanor, or contempt of court. And that contempt of court piece is that's basically the gameplay for Karina right now. You violated, and so you're in contempt of court. You broke the rule around, of this order that you were ordered to stay away from me. So a motion for contempt of court, what's required, right? So Karina goes and says, hey, she broke the temporary restraining order rules. So the contempt is the process where one party may bring a legal action against another party for their failure to comply with a court order, going down to the I Got You office, calling her on her phone, text messaging her, anything like that. So for their failure to comply with a court order, for example, failure to pay child support or alimony. Obviously, that doesn't pertain to them. The initiating party, which will be Karina, must have proper standing to enforce the court's order through a contempt action. What this means is that the party initiating the action for contempt, which would be Karina, must be the former spouse or parent awarded to the child, alimony, division of property. That division of property is the part that pertains to them, child custody or other award. So in layman terms, that means that Karina has to have a leg to stand on if she doesn't want her down at that business, or whatever they're initiating. They have to have they have to have a substantiated reason, right? And a certain claim to the home, the house, the business, whatever it may be. So let me go back. So the consequences for violating a temporary protective order are: if you violate a protective order in the state of Georgia, you could face serious legal repercussions, including a jail sentence. That is why it's important to understand and adhere to the specific provisions of any protective order to avoid being arrested, charged with a felony, and put in jail without bond. Because now you're a threat. I'm scared of you. I don't know what you're going to do. You down at the job, you feeling you in your feelings right now because you see something that you actually did conceptualize and create. You see it slipping away from you, and now you're having regrets. You're feeling mad. You're going through all the emotions and all the feels. You're mad, you're sad, you're hurt, a whole bunch of things. I don't want to be around you because that is no, that's very dangerous. And you're not emotionally intelligent enough to be able to handle what's happening right now to you, which is all your own fault, allegedly. So also jail time is the principal penalty for violating a restraining order in Georgia. Did you know that? If a person violates an order, they could be in jail. They could face from 1 to 10 years in jail, plus a fine of $10,000. All right. So if you violate a protective order, the person who requested the order, which would be Karina, they can actually call the police, right? And have you arrested wherever you are. And I will tell you, I know for a fact that is true. One of my sisters went through that. And I'm the person who coached her through what to do when she was trying to get out of this relationship with her previous husband. Anyway, so, if you violate a protective order, the person who requested it, they can exercise their right they can either ignore you, which would be foolish. Boss lady doesn't strike me as a fool. Or they can say, all right, you cross boundaries. These are boundaries. You don't respect boundaries. I'm going to call the police, and the police will absolutely, positively in Georgia, go to wherever you are and arrest you immediately. And you will be taken to jail. Sometimes you get a bond and sometimes you don't. But again, you have to have that emotional intelligence to know, that you can't be acting out. You can't let your emotions control you. You can't be sentimental about a business going down the drain or being snatched away from you when allegedly you're the person who, was causing all the problems, or you allowed someone to be introduced to your situation, your life, your family, to cause all of this corruption and disruption in your life. And you have to deal with that. You have to stand in that. That's on you. All right. So let's see. There was one other. Okay. So also yesterday, I saw that there was a Rule 6.4 certification that was also in the court documents. So in the state of Georgia, if you anticipate asking for attorney fees, the 6.4 letter can be very helpful to you, right? It's your time and your opportunity to document in detail all the efforts that you made to resolve this matter before taking it to court. What does that mean? That means that I didn't want to take you to court. I was trying to talk to you and reason with you. And now because you showed your whole ass, I have to take you to court, and I shouldn't have to pay for the attorney fees to do that. You should be on the hook for that because I tried to resolve this with you in a respectable, responsible, reasonable manner, and you just kept showing your behind at every turn. And you weren't trying to work with me. You weren't being cooperative. You was out there boo loving, running the streets, doing whatever, with your new boo, allegedly. And so this rule basically is Karina's way of saying, hey, I tried to resolve this, maybe even try to get an arbitrator, because that is another option. And it didn't work. I have no other recourse at this point but to take this to court because this person is completely unreasonable. All right. And we talked about injunctive relief already. So that was that rule 6.4 was also filed. So Karina's like, my attorney's not cheap. Okay, this is not cheap. And I want the attorney fees to come out of whatever award or agreement that we agree to for you. I want to be compensated, reimbursed. So also there was a rule nitty, and I know a lot of people, I don't know if you looked at it, and you was like, what the hell is that? So a rule nitty is a request by one party to rule the other party in contempt for not complying with the previous arrangement made by court order, right? And so that means basically when you make a business settlement, that person or whatever, the defendant, who in this case of course would be Carmen, you're required to follow through like on your agreements, your contracts and all that stuff. If you fail to do that, you could be held in contempt of law for doing that. So basically it's like saying, you weren't doing what you were supposed to do. Even the court documents, like what you were supposed to be, your end that you're supposed to hold up after we went to court or after the filings were done, you didn't do what you were supposed to do contractually, right? And so again, you could be held in contempt of court for that. So basically that's it. That's it in a nutshell. So to sum it all up, Karina was not trying to take this to court originally. I have not spoken to her, but I can read. Okay. I can read. She has not, which is why she filed that rule 6.4, because I tried and you weren't listening. So now I have to really get your attention. And you done threatened me too. Like, yes, you threatened me with physical harm. That is what she said. I read it. She was threatening her, and which I can't even see. Listen, you know what? I'm not even getting into that. But she wasn't trying to take it there, but this just kept escalating. And we all have had front row floor seats to all of this action, right? The last 5 months. Karina was not trying to take it there from the court documents. And so she went ahead and filed and went ahead and offered to buy her out the company. And actually first she wanted to, she wanted to give her 50-50 relationship in the company, like buy out her 50% or something like that. I don't remember. This was the first ruling. But whatever it was, Carmen wasn't satisfied with it. She was like, no, I just want to be bought out of the company altogether. And that was the last document that I saw on that. And Boss Lady, if you're watching this, please feel free to inbox me and let me know if I get any of these, any of this information wrong, because I am not above correction. And I actually love when people point out anything that I make an error in. So I have an opportunity to learn and to share it with you all, right? The way that it's supposed to be, not the way I want it to be. So try to resolve it with her. No recourse, no resolve and no other recourse but to take it to court, and got a restraining order. Since you want to threaten me, you want to come down to the job. I'm sure it's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I don't even know about. You don't even know about. For all we know, she could have been down there every day doing X, Y, and Z. I don't know. We don't know. But whatever it was severe enough for Karina to say, nah, I need a protection order against you because like this is dangerous at this point. I don't feel safe around you. I feel like you're a threat. You threatened me. I don't know if you're going to go through with that and what you're capable of, but I'm taking this to the law. And when they issued that order against her, she was not supposed to be. You saw it. within a certain amount of yards to a person. You went all up in that lady's workspace, and I have read your comments like, well, how is it her space? Carmen's the one who started it. Again, I give you the example of two people living in the same house, a husband and a wife. If that wife goes down to the court and she files a restraining order against her husband, he's got to get out of that house. I have seen that. So it's no different from business. So, Carmen's out here doing whatever she wants to do. She's going to love who she wants to love, and we'll get into those videos. So that's it for the court stuff. And I'll take your questions and comments at the end, because I can't see them right now because I wanted you to look at the documents as I was reading them. But this is like a mess. It really is. And meanwhile, all this is going on. You done broke the the restraining order. Now you're being held in contempt of court, which you can go to jail for and be fined. Is that why you had this stack of cash? I have no idea. I can't even speculate on stuff like that. But this is a lot. Yeah, I like I love a little ruffle neckline. So let's get into some of these videos that I have for you all. Let me exit out of the big screen. There we go. So I keep a journal. I bought this book just for you guys. So when I am like looking up stuff for you all, before I present to you all, I try to get as much information and facts as I can. And I actually have like a checklist that I go through to make sure that I stay on track and that I'm giving you the best quality content, that I can, and commentary that I'm able to. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. All right. So court docs, we took care of that. So they came back today. And I know we had this whole survey of, are they going back to Atlanta together? Are they going back to Houston together? Or are they going their separate ways? And overwhelmingly, you all said that they were going their separate ways. But they proved us wrong with that, right? And I suspect that stack of cash might have had something to do with it. People get funny for money. They just do. So they went out today, and while they were in New York, and they went to a restaurant, and the waitress who was there, she talked a little too much because she gave a little something away, and I'm going to play it for you and let you hear it. Let's see, hang on. Okay, so listen to this waitress who's waiting their table at this beautiful restaurant called Peak, I believe. She approached their table, and apparently they must have had a conversation with her or whoever they made the reservation with. And so this waitress, she regurgitated that information, and I thought it was very interesting. Take a look.
Check out this area. It's all for you.
Hello, welcome in. How are you doing today?
We're good. How are you?
Thank you. Happy anniversary, by the way. I know you're celebrating today, so I hope your experience is going to be really good.
I hope so too.
May I offer you any water to start?
I'll have some water. And can I have some ice?
Did you hear that? She said, the waitress said, "Oh, yes, I heard that you're celebrating today." I think she said something about an anniversary. So I went back to look and see they got together in June, on like June 2nd. So July, August, September, October, November, December. So it's not a 6-month anniversary, but she definitely did say congratulations to them. And, I know you're celebrating. And they were like, "Oh, thank you." And of course, Tay had the camera. She put the camera on the side. She didn't want to have it, in the lady's face or on Carmen to see the reaction at the time. I peeped all of it. Definitely. So, somebody said the moderator on her page is blocking everything. So, we got a little nugget there, and we were running a totally different survey that wondered if they had gotten married or not, right? And I have the results of that too. I'll share that with you guys real quick at the end. You know what? Let me do it right quick right now. Let's see. Do I have it? Maybe not. Oh, yes. Okay, here it is. All right. So we got 345 answers so far. Y'all got to do better with the surveys. I try to keep them fun. I try to keep them cute. I try to keep them entertaining. And I try to keep them short because I want to, again, be respectful of your time. I don't want you doing a 15-minute survey. So I try to keep it like 1 or 2 questions, 4 or 5 at the most. So the question was, on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely is it that Cook Carmen and 2-Bit Tay got married in New York City this past weekend? And overwhelmingly, you all said that, it's extremely likely. So I did a scale of 0 to 10. And, like 50% of you said, yeah, they got married this weekend. So the average rating was 6.9, right, on this scale. So I just wanted to share that with you all because I know you take time out to do the surveys, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you the results of them so you don't think, that it's all for naught. All right. So, yep, you heard the lady. Oh, congratulations. What? Karen Powell? Where's the moderators for this lady? Y'all need to leave those people alone. First of all, let me say this before I go on to the next video. To all the Rose Goldies and Nosies and whomever who comes into this room, this is not a Tay support group. It's not. So if you come in here, just know that all these people in this room are just like me. They can't stand her. All right. So yeah, you're not going to be getting like the warm and fuzzies and getting like, laughing emojis at your comments. Like you're probably going to get, you want to get a tongue lashing. Like, don't come in this room like trying to regulate and violate the policy here, which is this is a safe place for people who do not get down with them like that to verbalize how they feel about it. So if you don't like that, then do not come in this room. It's real simple because they definitely have my full permission to, address you all however they see fit. So stop. Don't come in here with that. Leave these people alone. How you got all this time? I got time. I have a full-time job, career, and I still have time to do this. So don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. All right. So they're at the restaurant and they were eating and they were, I told you what the waitress said. Before they started eating, Tay was saying, like, oh, I really want to go to Japan. I want to go do the Mario Karts, which is fun. I want to do the Mario Karts and da 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 da. So Carmen was like, have you been to Japan before? I'm like, how you getting married to someone or married to someone if you don't even know their travel history? That's a very basic thing. When I meet a man, one of the first things, well, maybe not the first things, but it definitely comes up within like a week. Like, hey, you like to travel? Where have you been to? Like, y'all are married allegedly and or heading that way, and you don't even know if she's ever been to Japan before. That just struck me as odd. But Carmen was eating it up. She was like, yeah, baby, I'll take you. No problem. Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Let me show you how she was eating this up. It was like ridiculous.
We actually have real menus.
She's crazy. No, that's not the one. Hang on. Here it is.
But it's Middle East.
My favorite pearls. Love your necklace.
Yeah, but that was fun.
But what was I going to say? But there's so many other places I want to venture to, like Australia. I want to go to Japan and drive the Mario Karts through the city. You would love it. In Tokyo.
So you've been to Japan?
No, not yet. It's on my list.
Let's book it.
See, after I said Mario Kart, now she want to
Let's
go.
go. That reminds me of the slingshot. Let's go, baby. Let's go to Japan.
Let me see. I have to look and see what was the best time of year to go.
When I tell y'all, I stayed married to my husband. My husband. For 23 years. Well, I just gave him. She'll be back. I don't know what else to say.
Sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, let me tell you why you can't hear me sometimes. I know you can hear me now. When I'm replaying a video, I put my mic on mute so that you don't get that echo feedback. And after I'm finished looking at a video, I have to put the take the mute off so that you can hear me. And like I'm just so enthralled by all of this that sometimes I forget to take the mute off. So I apologize about that. But what I was saying when I had the mute button on, because I didn't want you to have that feedback in your ear while you were looking at the video, was that Carmen has her blinders on. And no matter what any of us tell her, she's not going to, like, she's going to have to crash and burn, like literally. And there's a lesson to be learned in all of this. And who's going to be around when it all comes tumbling down? Maybe probably her daughter. I mean, that's her daughter. Right now they're not getting along, but that is her flesh and blood, her granddaughter too. But those other relationships that you've ruined, like with Boss Lady and all these other people, like I wouldn't really count on that, to be there when I fall for them to pick me up, because like at every turn you disrespected them. And then I was watching a video of Tay a few weeks ago talking about Boss Lady and saying that she's not married, and then just going into that, you need to learn your place. All right, these are lifetime relationships and friendships that she have with people for 20, 30 plus years. So for you to come on the scene and be taking shots and digs at someone like Karina, who has, it's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that y'all do not know. All right. How I know? Because people get in my inbox all the time. Y'all know how y'all do. But you need to slow your roll, learn your place, be humble. But that's not her personality. Like, she's not a fallback type person at all. So this is one other quick video I want to show you all. So they got on an airplane, obviously, when they were leaving New York. And Carmen said that she has some business to tend to here in Georgia. I would imagine it's probably answering for this contempt stuff. Like, you need to get with your attorney, and whoever it is needs to be able to have some kind of control over you, because you've been acting like you're not even represented by counsel, because you're making very reckless decisions, carrying wads of cash around, going down to the I got you office, making demands on the company to fulfill, free items and et cetera, which puts more undue stress on them. Where's your attorney? Someone. I mean, even your woman, like, she should be, listen, if you're in a relationship with someone, they should be helping you to be the best you. They should be adding value to your life. If someone's not adding value to your life, they're taking value away. Period. It's just that simple. You're not adding to, you're taking away from, or at least keeping it, on the same level. If you're not adding to someone's value, you're taking away from it. And the fact that she hasn't helped her mend these relationships with her daughter, with her longtime friends, and business partners, that says a lot to me. So let me show you all this last quick clip. They were, Carmen, when she gets on the airplane, we learned that she likes the window seat. And we also learned that Tay has to have the window seat regardless, period, point blank. Yeah, I know you like it, but I want that seat, and I get what I want. Literally, she said that in her message to one of her Rose Goldies when they asked her, like, something about the coat. And she was like, I get what I want. Oh, how much was it? And she said, I get what I want. So, which is a very uppity attitude to have. You know what I'm saying? People just don't gravitate toward people who don't have a humble bone in their body. They just don't. Flashy, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not endearing. That's not an endearing quality. I'm just telling you, as a person who's been on this earth, not as long as y'all, but long enough, that I know what I'm talking about. Like, that's not an endearing quality. So let me show you. They were on the plane, and take a look. This is what happened. Here it is. Okay.
Did you flip a coin for the window seat? No, we both got window seats. There wasn't that many seats left on the flight, so we couldn't sit together. You enjoyed yourself this weekend? New York is something special.
Hold on. I remembered to take the mute off that time. I'm sorry, y'all. But you heard what she said. We didn't sit together. I wanted the window seat, and she had to have it, so we sat separately. What? Ma'am, you mean to tell me you want the window seat so bad that you actually sit by a stranger just so you can have the window seat? That's crazy to me. And of course, you'll have a stranger on the other side of you if it's a 3-row plane, but at least you'll be next to your new mate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you that pressed and that controlling that you have to have a window seat so badly that you actually got a ticket sitting away from your new spouse or soon to be. That's crazy to me. That's absolutely asinine to me. I mean, it's about sacrifices. Any relationship, you're going to give and take. It's going to ebb and flow. But at the end of the day, you should be able to come to a compromise. And, yeah, that's just crazy to me. All right, so I'm going to open up the floor to any questions that you all may have, any comments. Let me put the comments back up for you all. Here we go. So feel free to ask your questions. I want to let you all know also before I start answering questions, that I am putting together a new segment for the show. It's called Ask Nandy. So you all listen, I don't know everything in the world, right? I don't. But I know a little bit about a lot of different things. I think I've shared that with you all before. And I've been on this earth almost 40 years. So like I know some things. I've seen some things. I grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I definitely didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. Now how I'm living now, that's totally just different than how I grew up. And I didn't go through things. I always tell people, don't go through something, grow through it, right? So all those things have helped to kind of round me out. So I've come up with this new segment. It's going to be called Ask Nandy, where you all can make a video. Okay, keep it short, 1 minute or less, asking me your questions about whatever it may be: business, finance, relationships, love, what to cook for Thanksgiving, who house to go over, because I'm not going down Aunt Shirley house because I don't like them people down there. Anything and everything that you want to ask. And of course, you all will be tuned in for that. So you all can give your opinions on the screen and we'll look at those too. But sometimes you just need another person to give you an opposing point of view, right? If you're close up to something, if I get close to my hand like this, I can't see all the other stuff around me, right? Sometimes you're too close to something. You can't see the forest for the trees sometimes. And sometimes you need someone to be that voice of reason, or, to give you that breakthrough that you may need. Or you may be in a dispute with the person that you love, and you want someone that is neutral to hear it and give you their opinion about it. And so I will be doing that. And I will be enlisting the help of all of you to be in the comments so you can give your opinions about it too. And we'll keep it light. You know what I mean? Don't make a video if you want to run. You know what I'm saying? If you want to run, I can't get involved with that. If you a killer and a dealer, don't call, please. But make a video, 1 minute or less. Everyone has a video. If you're listening to my voice right now, you have technology available to you. So just keep it really short, and we'll bring you on also to discuss it and to talk about it. So that's coming up soon. I just have a lot of things that I want to do with you guys, like a whole lot of stuff, and I really enjoy interacting with you all. And let's see, Chef Carmen, I'll look at some of these comments now. I really enjoy interacting with you all. Oh, and let me say this too before I get off. I am approaching the 10,000 member mark, 10,000 teammates. I'm not going to call you followers because I already told you I think that's, shady. 10,000 teammates. So I'm going to be doing something super special in honor of that for a few people, few of my teammates, right? I just started this page. It hasn't even been 2 weeks, and you all definitely are coming, forth and participating and subscribing and following and all that stuff. And I really, really, truly do appreciate that. So I'm going to be doing a 10K giveaway, definitely. Probably this weekend sometime. So I'm sure I'll be at the 10 mark, maybe by the time we get off of this thing. But I'm super excited about that. I really appreciate every single one of you who've been following, listening, engaging, participating. I really, really am grateful for that, for the opportunity to have a voice, and for you all to exercise your right to have your voice too. What else did I want to talk about? The small business spotlight. I've been getting a lot of inquiries. Please keep sending them in. If you can make a video also of your product, your service, you guys are so talented. It's just insane. Make a short video. Keep it 1 minute. Anything that I ever ask you to do in this group, it's not going to be time consuming at all. I mean, maybe except for like my lives, but I keep it lit to 1 minute, elevator pitch, do a video about it. So I can know what it is that I can be educated, right? To speak intelligently about your products before bringing you on to this platform in front of all these people. So lots of good stuff coming up, lots of good stuff. Thank you all. I see the congratulations coming in. Yeah, 10K. Like I'm super, super excited about that because, you never know. Like people want to hear what you got to say. Do they? And it turns out that we're kinfolk in here because we definitely are here. We're on the same page with each other. So super, super excited about it. Any questions? Anybody? Let's see. Chef team is way stronger than you guys think. Funny how Chef's ex, Stephanie, is a nurse as well. I know why you're saying that, and I understand and I agree because Carmen was saying, I've never been with anybody who graduated college before. I've never had a college graduate. So if you all are saying that Stephanie is as a nurse, that means that she graduated from college. So yeah, that's all a lie. Like all these lies, it is so tedious keeping up with a lie. Like you have to tell another lie to cover that lie. I can't do all that. I can't do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Yeah. So, all right, you guys. Well, I'm gonna get off and let you enjoy the rest of your night. It's 12:30 Eastern time where I am. I'm a night owl, so I'll be up a little bit longer, probably engaging with you in the comments. Please make sure that you're following me on both platforms, not just this platform, but also because I'm going to probably be going live on YouTube just some of the time, right? And not all the time, always on Facebook. So make sure you're following me on both platforms so you do not miss out on any of the tea, gossip, juice, pettiness, surveys, all of that stuff. I want you to be here for it. And I'm here for you. I appreciate you all very, very much. So you all have a good night. And I will see you in the next video. And I will catch you in these Facebook streets. Bye.